Welcome to another week of Project Kona YouTube, and welcome to Monday. Pretty windy out here today, so I hope you can all hear me alright. As many of you probably know, I had an accident on my long ride last week and ended up breaking my elbow. Been a bit of a roller coaster since then. Done a lot of reflecting, and I've had a lot of injuries, particularly in the last year, but a lot of setbacks throughout my triathlon journey. And I thought back to my first one, which was probably a knee injury I got after my first half Ironman. Ended up having subsequent surgery. Had the doctors tell me you're not going to be able to run again, all that old school medicine jazz. And I thought back to how I responded to that injury, and that absolutely broke me back then. Like, I remember being down in the dumps, basically crying in my lounge room, thinking that this dream at that stage of completing an Ironman was lost. And then moving forward through each of the setbacks I've had, particularly over the last year, I feel like my response to the setback has improved every time. And then last Saturday, I definitely had a bit of a dark moment whilst in the ED, but as soon as I got out, it was back on the horse, and the next day straight back on the trainer. It was more about, all right, the past is the past. What can we do now to minimize the collateral damage? How can I move forward? How can I make the most of this situation? It just got me thinking about how this journey really has shaped me as a person, how it's made me stronger, more resilient with each step of the journey, and how much personal growth I've had. Personal growth doesn't come from the success. In a perfect world, I might have done my half Ironman, gone straight to a full Ironman, qualified for Kona, gone to Kona, easy breezy the whole way through. And then what do you get at the other end of it? A little line on your resume, so to speak, some bragging rights. But that's not going to make you a better person. That's not going to give you personal growth. That's not going to give you more resilience. The growth comes from getting back up when you get knocked down, from the hardships, from the grind. It doesn't come from the success. Yeah, I just reflected on that a lot, and I took a lot of drive from that through the week, and it's the first time that I've really looked at my journey and seen how I've grown as a person from it, how it's made me a better, stronger person. Obviously, I've had physical improvements and measurable numbers and stuff, but this was the first time I really saw proper growth from my journey, which is great. Like, I think it just shows why you need to do hard things. You need to get knocked down. You need to get knocked down so you can get back up. You can become better, stronger, more resilient. It's a hard world out there, and everything's there to knock you down. And the more resilience you have and the faster you can get back up and pull yourself back together, the better off you'll be. So I had all these thoughts throughout the week, and then the last couple of days my motivation just crashed. I don't know why. I don't know if it's because I wasn't hitting power numbers when I was on the bike yesterday, but what I do know is that, again, it's just a hardship. I just have to push through. I'll come out the other end. I'll get the motivation back. I know that. I know I'm going to get over this injury. You just got to push through. Keep getting the job done, you know? So that's been my roller coaster in the last week. Anyway, today's Monday. We did 1.5 hours on the trainer this morning, and now I'm just doing my long walk. I think we're nearing on or just over 30k. Sun's obviously going down a bit, so we're going to call it soon. And then I've got my follow-up appointment to assess my injuries on Wednesday, so hopefully that'll bring a bit more clarity to what the next couple of months will look like training wise and rehab. And then I've just been thinking what my 1%er for the week's going to be whilst on this walk. So a couple of things came to mind, but I think for this week, one thing I definitely don't do enough of is stretch. So my 1%er for this week is going to be 10 plus minutes of daily stretching and mobility work. I definitely do it when I'm at the gym, but this is just more about incorporating into my daily routine. And I think I'll do it as a morning session as soon as I get up, because I think putting an actual time frame to it just makes it that bit more achievable, you know, and you're not going to keep pushing it back through the day until the point that you run out of time and you don't get it done. So every morning when I get up this week, 10 minutes of stretching and mobility work. Well, that's me for the day, YouTube. I hope everyone has a good week. Stay healthy, stay active this week. Choose your 1%er, and I'll talk to you soon. Welcome to Friday. We've had some news in the last couple of days, but first off, it's been a while since we've updated. So yesterday we did our 2-hour long walk and a 1-hour steady zone 2 on the trainer at 230 watts. And today I've just walked to gym because I still can't drive. So that was about a bit over an hour to gym. Did a few little exercises that the physio's given me, and then just work my way around some of the machines, figuring out what I can and can't do. I'm just walking back from the gym now, another hour 10ish, and then we've got a interval ride on the trainer to do this afternoon. But yeah, Wednesday we had the follow-up with the ortho, which was pretty brief, but then also had the physio yesterday. Got a little bit more clarity after those. So first off, the arm's no longer in a sling. Pretty important that I start moving it as soon as possible. Try and work the range of motion back, but I can't do any weight bearing or lifting with it, like not even opening doors apparently for the full 6 weeks post-injury. So that's where we're at with the injury. The right wrist and elbow is still pretty sore as well. So even my lifting capabilities with that arm's pretty limited still. So the outlook from here, the good news is that the plan is that I can start running again from next week. Just got to make sure that it's not causing pain from the movement of running, in which case I'll have to stop. The biking, unfortunately, is just going to be kept on the trainer until the full 6 weeks, because again, I can't really put any weight through the bars of the bike. As for swimming, there was a bit of conflicting info. The ortho appointment, they said that as soon as I've got full range of motion of the joint without pain, they're happy if I get in the pool, which I thought was a little bit weird considering they're also saying I can't lift anything heavier than a pen. And the physio also thought it was a bit strange. In that freestyle stroke, you're often pulling the equivalent of a couple of kilo worth. So kind of made a plan to wait at least 3 or 4 weeks and then we'll reassess with the swimming. And yeah, obviously my gym work's pretty impaired still at the moment because I can't lift with the left arm and still can't really lift too much weight with the right arm either. He gave me a few sort of leg exercises, a few plyometric stuff to try and do what I can. And first gym session back was today, and I just had a look at a couple of the machines and found some leg machines that I can work my way around. Obviously can't do anything with the free weights yet. But yeah, that's sort of where we're at. So I'm just working with the physio at the moment. Also obviously gave me some exercises to do, like just some movement exercises with the affected arm. I'll put the EP on hold just for the meantime because it's a lot of money to pay both, and when I'm pretty limited in the gym, I don't really think that it's necessary spending all that money. That's where we're at the moment. We're getting out there, we're doing what we can. It looks like the Bustleton race in December, we're probably gonna postpone and just aim for New Zealand in March. There's just not gonna be much time between the 6 weeks over this injury and then when we got to start tapering for the race. So, but I'll keep you posted on that. Just staying positive, doing what we can. Happy Sunday, YouTube. Yesterday we did our 2-hour walk and we did 1 hour zone 2 on the trainer. And then today, Sunday, we just had 2 hours 10 on the trainer, 4 by 25 minutes at 230 watts, sort of high zone 2. But yeah, got through that. It's been an alright week. The motivation crashed a little bit this week, I think. I think the head's just been all over the place a little bit, and it's kind of hard to send yourself into the well on these training sessions when you're not all there. But we've got through every session, even if we've had to turn the bias down a little bit, so that's good. Just keep telling myself we just got to push through and we'll come out the other side. So but yeah, next week we should be able to get into some running again, so we're looking forward to that. I did have a chat to the coach about WA, which is December Ironman. That was hopefully going to be the first attempt at qualifying for this qualifying year. Well, he actually came to me and asked me about it, and I kind of just said I think I've done enough that I don't need to go there just for a finish, and if I'm not going to be informed to qualify, I'd probably rather just train through and aim for New Zealand in March, which is more than likely going to be the case considering we were still trying to get back to swimming after these injuries in particular. And I mean, this 6-week recovery with impaired training will kind of put us back to normal-ish training about 6 weeks out from WA, but then you take out a little bit of a taper before the race, and that's kind of only leaving us with like a month of training, from which we're already going to be behind the 8 ball because we're recovering from injuries again. I think I do have until a couple of weeks before the race to postpone it, so I haven't officially postponed it yet, but yeah, the discussions we had this week, that's looking like the path we're going to take. Target New Zealand and then maybe Cairns after that if we need to. But anyway, none of that's set in stone yet. We're just going through the motions, getting the rehab done and getting as much training as I can get done. Yeah, we made the most of the week. We got through it. Look forward to getting into some more stuff next week. Get a little bit more volume back, a little bit more variety back. The arm's moving good, but yeah, I just can't wait there with it until at least this full 6-week recovery period. That's where we're at, YouTube. Yeah, hope everyone had a good week. We'll talk to you again next week. Cheers, guys.